There's a lot more to grid layouts, and we'll explore those concepts using this set of blog posts. We have a set of 6 blog posts, and this in our markup, we have a parent div and all 6 blog posts individually in each of their divs. Let's first make these posts appear in a grid layout of 3 columns and 2 rows. In the previous video, we saw how to do this. Add a grid class to the parent and specify the number of columns using grid calls CSS property. And now we have the items in 3 columns and 2 rows. We can also add a gap between this using the gap utility as we saw in Flexbox. So just gap 6 or something would set the same gap along both the directions. But if you want different gap for horizontal and vertical, you can do that using gaps X and gap Y individually. Alright, now I will set a gap of 6. The cool thing about grid layouts in Tailwind is that you can span a single item across multiple rows or columns using a single utility class. If you like this first blog post to occupy 2 columns, you could just add a class right here to the first item, call span, followed by the number, it's not called span, sorry, it's called span, followed by the number of columns you wanted to span. So let me set this to call span 2, and now notice it spans across both the columns. For spanning multiple rows, we could use row span utility. So if you say row span 2, this spans across 2 rows. So let's say I want the second item to occupy an entire row that is span across all the columns. I would set this to call span full. And now refresh. Yes, it occupies the entire column. Now obviously we don't want this empty space here. It would be nice if the other elements down here could occupy the space. We can do exactly that using the class grid flow row dense. So as you saw in the previous video, the default flow is grid flow row. We don't have to specify that because that's the default. Now adding dense to it will make this possible. So it makes sure that all the items are arranged in such a way that there are no empty spaces whenever possible. Now this is great. You can also make an item start from a different column number or a row number if needed. So let me inspect element and turn the grid lines on. So you see some numbers here, right? So the one on the top, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are column numbers, and the ones on the left are the row numbers. So they both start from 1. So we have 4 column lines. Now if you want the first item here to start from column number 3 instead of column number 1, we can do that using the utility class call start and then specify the number. So now that we need call start 3, we can do that, and now see that's gone there, and the other items shift accordingly. You can do the same thing with row as well. There's also call end and row end utility classes if you want finer control. However, I suggest not to use these much because while they visually appear in a different order, screen readers will still read them in the order they appear in the markup. So it might confuse your users. There's also another order class which can be used to specify the order of the items in case you wish to change them. There are these numbers. There's also order first and order last if you ever need them. Alright, with this, we have pretty much covered all the things you can do with grid layouts in Tailwind. Combine this with Flexbox and responsive concepts in the next chapter, and you can achieve almost any modern layout you need faster than ever before.